Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this lecture 3 on advanced persistent threat attribution and detection. So in today's lecture we will look into one of the popular attribution technique called diamond model. In diamond model was a quite popular technique across many security firms and intelligence agencies for a long time to attribute the APT actors. So this Raymond model mainly relies on four pillars. The first pillar was adversary pillar, and the second pillar was the victim pillar, and the third pillar was capability pillar, and the fourth pillar was infrastructure pillar. So both these adversary pillar and victim pillar are tied up with a socio-political axis, and the capabilities and the infrastructure was tied up with a technical axis. So there is a dedicated team working along with the socio-political axis, and there is a dedicated team working along with the technical axis. So now we will look into the each pillar in detail to understand what actually these cyber intelligence agencies are doing for attribution process. So let us consider adversary pillar. So in this adversary pillar, the cyber intelligence agencies will try to identify the language and time zones and the nicknames. So language means whenever there is an APT attack, so the attackers will leave the malware binaries in the victim networks. So they will try to collect these malware samples, and they try to reverse engineer these payloads to understand what kind of programming style that they are using and what kind of language that they are using, and based on that thing they used to attribute some score. And the second one was a time zone. So this time zone pillar plays a key role in the identifying the APT threats. So for example, if you consider APT one case in the Mandiant analysis, so you can see that all the timestamps that are locked in for a jump servers are exactly correlating to the Chinese standard working time zone. So based on that thing, they came to initial conclusion that this attack or this APT attack might origin from the China. So that's why we can consider this time zone as a very key aspect in the adversary pillar. And the third one was the nickname. So while writing the malware payloads, attacker will use some nicknames in the readme files or in some the debugging process. So they will try to understand those nicknames, and they will try to map these nicknames with the dark web forms or either to the social media platforms to see whether is there any Twitter handles or official dark web pages running with these nicknames. So this is called dark web monitoring. So all these things will come under adversary pillar. And the second pillar was the victim pillar. The victim pillar mainly depends on the political analysis, socio-political analysis. Security firms will see what sector these APT groups are targeting, and what is the region, and what was the type of data that they have stolen. So in order to get a better picture about this victim pillar, I will illustrate an example. For example, recently all the Chinese APT groups are targeting on various countries to steal the cancer-related health data. So the reason behind that particular thing is that there are so many people in China. According to the official statistics, there are so many people in China are dying because of cancer, and there is a aggressive research going in China related to the cancer treatment. So they are actually, these APT groups are working in parallel to those research agencies or government to provide supplement data to the particular research. So now we can understand the correlation between the sector that the APT groups are targeting to the their governments or nation states interests. And the second one was the type of data that they are stealing. So if you consider APT one case, especially Mandiant did an analysis to figure out what is the data, what type of data that they are stealing. So if you see, the data that they are stealing is completely matching with the Chinese political interests or Chinese 5 years plans. So now we can understand what is the victim pillar. So both this adversary and the victim pillar are connected with the socio-political axis. And now we will look into the technical axis. So in the technical axis, it will cover basically the other two pillars, that is capability and the infrastructure. If you look at the capabilities, in this thing the technical team will try to reverse engineer the malware, and they try to see whether is there any code that are already used in the various other campaigns or not, and what are all the tools, techniques, procedures that these APT groups are incorporated in this particular attack. And the second one was the infrastructure. So they will try to dig into the jump servers and what are all the infrastructure that they have compromised, like rented servers in AWS or cloud or etc. And they will try to see who is records and the owners of this who is records, and what kind of websites that they are compromised in this particular campaign. So all these things are analyzed under the infrastructure pillar. So both these infrastructure pillar and capability pillars are assigned to a technical connected with a technical axis, and there is a dedicated team working along with this direction. So from these both two axes, like socio-political axis and the technical axis, we can get a strong concluding evidence about what might lead to this attack, and they might answer who is behind this particular attack and why they have done it. So these are all the two key questions that they are going to answer in this APT attribution process from this diamond model. So this is the high level overview of the diamond model. Basically this is a traditional old school technique that is extracted by many other models in the recent times. So if you can able to understand about this diamond model, you will get a better picture in the upcoming lectures to understand what is 4C model and what is the MICTIC framework, etc. So mostly all of these methods are the next generation or next versions of this diamond model. So I hope you understand this diamond model, and hopefully we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.